All right, so this whole AOC tax the rich dress, it's kind of breaking my brain. And usually I would have a strong opinion one way or the other, but just in this case, it's so confusing that I even have a hard time understanding what's going on. Because like the logic could fold in on itself like 1 million times and over again. For example, okay, she's a democratic socialist, right? And that's her slogan campaign. I want to increase taxes on the rich to solve inequality or whatever, right? But then goes to this Met Gala and she's really, really enjoying herself. So it's not like the rich people there are her enemies. And so is it like a sarcastic thing? Or no? Or is it like a typical socialist thing where, let's say, Maduro from Venezuela, he would be eating with Salt Babe and typical socialists from history that they would just completely, while their people are poor, they would enjoy luxury. So it's as a throwback to that, or is she not? Is it but like is she not understanding how this looks, or she thought she was just being clever, giving the quote supposedly being cheeky and giving the middle finger to the people at this gala, saying, "Hey, we're the socialists are coming after you." But if that was the case, I mean, she's hobnobbing it with all those celebrities and people. I mean, it's not like she's in any kind of conflict with them, unless those people think that they're not the rich people and they are just middle class, and there's like 10, like a Jeff Bezos and a Bill Gates, they're the rich, and those are the ones that should be taxed more. But the people at the gala are just, yeah, shouldn't, not gonna, their tax is not gonna be raised. I don't know. I have no idea. This is just so bizarre. But uh, now there's a article here on Yahoo News saying that the tax the rich dress designer has a history of not paying taxes. Um, and that's quite obvious. I mean, a lot of these, I'm sure if you look into a lot of these people, no matter what they say publicly, um, if you look at like a lot of these people's tax returns, they would utilize every single possible deduction to pay as least amount of taxes. So it's always somebody else that should pay more taxes, or they would pay more taxes, but if other people were forced to, because I'd be happy to do that for more social programs. Um, yeah, I mean, IRS takes donations. They could just send some money in, but they know that the money's going to be wasted, so they don't do that. They'd rather donate directly to charity. So all this is really confusing, and it's just breaking my brain to even think about this. The company behind Alexander Ocasio-Cortez's tax-to-rich dress has a history of not paying taxes. Surprise, surprise. Designer Aurora James Company, Brother Velez, racked up 3 open tax warrants in New York for failing to withhold nearly 15K worth of income tax from employees. Oh, this one, okay, I mean, I blame this company for a lot of things, but this one might be a bullshit one. This 15K of it basically they could have paid people as freelancers, and the state of New York just deemed that, oh, they were employees, so you owe us payroll taxes. That's not. I don't think this is a big deal. But James designed the highly publicized tax the rich gown for AOC, who wore the dress to the 2021 Met Gala. An event began on September 13th, as attended by celebrities, actors, and politicians. The doubts were incurred before the debts were incurred before the pandemic, stemming from 2018 and 2019. The company has been hit with 15 warrants in total since 2015. Additionally, the IRS placed 6 federal liens on the company from April to 2018 to April 2019, totaling 100K, specifically citing the company's failure to remit employee payroll taxes. Just because, quote, just because they take it out of your paycheck doesn't mean they're sending it to the government. David Sandella, a branch college taxation lecturer, told the outlet, quote, it's certainly not something you want. I would not say your average business out there has this, something went wrong. James also has a history of rent disputes. So basically, they're stiff landlords on some rent, um, and that's basically it. Yeah, I mean, you can tell that this is all very performative, and this is not your, this is not your grandfather's socialism. These people are not going to be putting on like this button-down Mao uniform, green uniform, and take any sort of hit to their neck, and not going to make any sacrifices. They're not going to take any kind of hit towards their lifestyle. That's why they're like a fish that doesn't know it's swimming in water. They will be living in this market economy. The West, government regulations and stuff like that can hinder economic progress, and they can probably slow it down. They're not, and then their idea would be to nationalize a whole bunch of things, but it's not going to happen. I mean, this thing is a joke. It's a performative joke. This is almost like I don't know. This tax to rich is almost becoming like just a funny slogan in a way. Um, and especially if you even just do the numbers. Let's say I've read these numbers, which is mind-boggling, that there's like, or give or take 500 billionaires in America. If you were to confiscate all their money, and their money, it doesn't that their money is not even in a bank account. It's their net worth. That if you were to liquid everything, but let's say you did, let's say you liquid everything, you would get around $4 trillion. Well, compared to the 6 trillion the government spent, U.S. government spent in 2020, or compared to the 130 trillion of unfunded liabilities that that Medicare and Social Security and other entitlements that's been already promised to people. This is without anything new. So any kind of growth and expansion of the government, it's not going to come from the rich. The rich are the most mobile people. They have the accountants. They can hide their money. They can go overseas to tax shelters. It's really going to be the middle class, unfortunately, and the poor that's going to be paying the price tag.